Great, it's going. So welcome everybody. My name is Rich Mead, and I'm the Vice President of Product Development here at Link Systems International. I'll talk a little bit about our company in a little while, but I'd like to also introduce Angela Galvez, who is going to be my co-host today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Angela Galvez. I am a math teacher at Cypress Bay High School here in Florida, and welcome.
And Todd Hopkins, who works with me. Todd, introduce yourself, please.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name's Todd Hopkins. I am Director of Business Development at Link Systems, and welcome, everyone.
All right. So we're going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about Sofia, which is our online math homework platform. First off, we've already done some introductions, to give you a brief overview of the company, Sofia, and how it's used in different use cases. I'm going to do a brief tour, so I'm going to close out the boring PowerPoint and go into the product itself and show you some of the features and functionality, both on the instructor side as well as the student's view of Sofia when they're going in and taking assessments. And then I also want to ask Angela here, some questions just on how they're using it at Cypress Bay High School and some of the results that they're seeing, and see how the students are liking it. And then if you guys have any questions, there's a chat area within the webinar software here within WebEx. There's a Q&A section and a chat section. If you have questions, just feel free to type those questions along the way as we're going through. Todd, I'd like to ask you to maybe monitor both of those areas. And if we have questions, we'll kind of pause and we'll answer those questions as they relate to the content that we're presenting at that time. I think that's better than kind of holding off to the end of the presentation. Anyway, I find it's better. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And not my email, but the presentation. All right, great. Can you see that, Todd? All right, Todd's on mute, but he's nodded his head. He can see.
Yes.
We did introductions. There's the official titles and where we're all from. A little bit about Link Systems International, or as we affectionately shorten it to LSI. We've been providing e-learning software and services for over 20 years. Our goal is to provide, educational resources that help students succeed, and do so in an easy to use way where the technology doesn't impede in the students' learning. And I think we do a very good job of that and have done so for 20 years. And I think we're, continuing to learn from our partners, like Angela, on ways that we can, continue to make our products and services easy to use and easier to use, and providing those features and functionality that educators need and that students need to succeed. How did Sofia come about? Well, we've been providing a homework platform, basically what we call a test bank, for major textbook publishers for a long time. Sofia is just a couple of years old, but for over 15 to 20 years, we've been providing test bank mechanism for McGraw-Hill, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and other textbook publishers. And really what we saw was that, a lot of colleges and schools across the country, are trying to decrease the cost for students, to get their education in general. But all these resources and textbooks and additional software and things that come with the textbooks that, ultimately end up costing the student $120, $130. We wanted to sort of disrupt that, and we knew we had the technology. We have a content development team here, are all subject matter experts in various disciplines. So we said, what, we can do this. We can do it just as good, if not better, than some of the big textbook publishers, and we can do it at a lower cost. So that's how Sofia basically came about. And, you know, a lot of colleges, as a result of trying to decrease those costs for students, are looking more toward open education resources. So kind of abandoning the traditional textbook model, seeing what open education resources are available, but not a lot of ancillary materials or, you know, homework help type systems are out there that really correlated with those open education resources. And of course, there's many of them. So we're giving the instructors kind of the ability to pick and pack different topics and learning objectives to align with the materials that they're using in their courses. It's an algorithmic engine, so you know, no two questions are going to be exactly the same. It's constant iterations of the questions, different types of questions, and I'll show you that when we go in for the tour. Different answer types, and then of course the instructors have a lot of flexibility and you know, setting grades and variables and things like that, tolerances. And so we started, you know, with math, because math is, you know, typically a difficult course for students. And so we wanted to be able to support math, and not just math classes, but math across the curriculum. Various ways that you can use Sofia, you know, traditional courses just as homework help, refreshers in case, you know, maybe students are out of school for a few years and, you know, they can refresh over the summer before they start going back to school in the fall. And then co-requisite models. Lots of colleges are now offering transfer level math courses to all students. So even if Rich isn't prepared for college algebra yet, Rich is going to take college algebra and he's going to have a lab, or he's going to have some additional support to be able to help Rich get through that college course and ultimately, you know, finish my degree faster. That's the co-requisite model. So this is you're taking a college level course and then you have a co-requisite lab or, you know, 1 or 2 credit course. So Sofia ties into that really, really well. The content that we have with Sofia, you know, it spans from arithmetic through Calc 1. We released additionally 1,500 additional templates for calculus. So we started Calc 1 and we have Calc 2 and 3 and statistics on our roadmap for additional content. And like I said before, there's different types of questions, and we also include hints and other aids for students if they're working through the homework and they get stuck and their instructor's not right there to help them. So I'll show that when I go through the tour as well. Talked about the algorithmic engine and the randomized values. You know, benefit of doing that, you know, is academic integrity. In case you're using it, it's not just homework. I mean, instructors can create quizzes and tests and things like that. They can limit the types of aids that students will be able to get, and that's when those random variables, especially, is helpful for cheating. Textbook independent, so you know that's it's not tied to any specific textbook. It's textbook agnostic, and you know, like I said before, instructors can align that to the materials and the curriculum that they're using for a specific math course. We have direct integration into the learning management system, and of course, Canvas. We're showcasing here today was our #1 integration, so that all of the assignments and grades are in Canvas. The student never leaves Canvas, and I'll show you what that looks like. I have a Canvas instance where I'm going to show you Sofia. So for the students, it looks like they're just completing an assignment within Canvas and accessing all of their other course materials and information directly within that window. It's not opening up a new window. And then grades are automatically graded within Sofia. And of course, Sofia has its own grade book, but in Canvas, those grades are automatically sent over to the Canvas gradebook. And I know that's very important for instructors. Saves them a lot of time. And it's easy to start. You know, we can get it integrated into your learning management system with really like day one access. I mean, it's really easy to build assignments or if you wanted to get really crazy and create custom assignments and questions from scratch, you can do that as well. I talked about auto scoring. So I'm going to go into Sofia. And so this is the Canvas instance that we have. So you would see your courses that you're teaching here. So I'll go into the intermediate algebra course. And I have a Sofia button. I'll show you the instructor's access first. I have a Sofia button here, and the students wouldn't see Sofia. They would see their assignments, just as you would see within Canvas here. But as an instructor, I have an extra button called Sofia, and I can work with assignments that are in my locker. I can create assignments. I can view the progress of my intermediate algebra students as they're working through those assignments. And then we have some resources and additional support here. So if I just look, I'll go work within some assignments that are in my locker. This is where I can see the different assignments that I have that you can see have already been deployed. So these are made available to students. I can also go into the other areas, the other books, if you will, or courses for basic college math, high school algebra, geometry. We have some statistics content in there. It's not completed yet, but it will be soon. And we have trigonometry as well. So these are the different areas that we have content built for. I'll go into college algebra. And you can see that there's, just different types of topics here that are available. So let's just say I go into language of numbers and click on that. I can see, an example of the different types of questions that are available. If I wanted to edit that, I can edit it from the library because it wasn't in my locker, and it'll automatically put it in my locker so that I can deploy it to Canvas. This is where you have the option of, the bank is the college algebra. The topic is review of basic concepts, and then we have subtopics, and then learning objectives and individual questions. So I can look at any one of these questions that are available and click view, and it'll give me a preview of the question that maybe I want to add, maybe I don't. If I did want to add it, I can just click add this question. And then you can see that populated here at the bottom. If I already know, which questions I want, I can just, move them over using that button or take them away from me. And then I can preview, I can select all of these in the assignment language of numbers, and then I can preview that. And it'll show me all of the questions that are available within that assignment. And then I can keep the question, or I can one click remove the question as well. So it's easy to use. It's easy to see what assignment you're trying to create, and easy to edit that assignment too, so that you can make sure that it's correlating with the textbook or with the other course materials that you're using. That assignment went into my locker. So now I'm in my locker, and I can search for language. You can see I've done that a couple of times already. And then this is where, this assignment that I just created, you can take a look, see all the different questions as it would look for a student, and then deploy that right here. So that's kind of the view from an instructor's standpoint. There's a lot of different options. If I did want to go in here and edit, I can pick these areas. And then there's different options. You can set start dates and due dates. If there's a prerequisite, like they had to complete an assignment before that one, you can set that here, and the dates of availability as well. Lots of different features in there for instructors to to set different variables and settings, and I know Angela goes through that and sets a lot of those. But because we kind of have limited time today, I'm just going to show you the student view next. And in fact, I think I can go in to the settings, click student view. And so this is what the students will see. You know, as you can see, there's no button for Sofia here because they're not configuring anything. They're just taking the assignments that the instructor has already set up for them. So there can be, you know, different course content that you'll have in here, videos, instructional content, and then these will, you know, the assignments that they have to do show up here. They show up in their calendar, and they can just click on assignments and go through the various areas. So this is just oh, it's not available until 3/1. But this assignment is available, and so students will go through here and work on the problems. And there's different types of problems. There's graphing problems. You know, you can fill in the blank. There's different keypads that are available, math keypads for students, math symbols, Greek letters. So it's real easy for students to use. They don't have to try to rely on various keyboard shortcuts or things to enter in, you know, math equations or enter in their answer. And then it has an additional question here. If I'm a student and I'm going through this problem and I'm really not sure what's going on here, there are some aids that are available, and these are all activated or deactivated from the instructor's view. A hint, so the student can get a hint for the question. Show me will actually show the student, you know, the question. And then there's your turn, where it'll take you through kind of a step-by-step going through the question until you get to the answer. If the student sees the answer, it's not going to take them back to the original problem. It's going to randomize the variables so that they get a different problem. We also have a live help button. So if I click on live help, oh, I need to. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because I'm in student view. Go out to my assignments. Yeah, I guess it was because I was in student view. This will take you to NetTutor. So we have an online tutoring service called NetTutor, and this is just a great way for students to get support. It's an added cost, so if your school's not already using NetTutor, you know, then we probably wouldn't make that option available for students, and I'll show you another option to get help for students as well. But I can drop in and meet with a live tutor here. So they'll enter a queue and get picked up by a tutor, you know, as tutors are made available. So you can see that the student or the tutor has picked me up, and the question that I was working on within Sofia is automatically brought over to the whiteboard area here, and then I can chat back and forth with the tutor. All right, I'm going to get out of this. Another option is for students, if they wanted to, they can print the question and do it by hand. And this may be helpful for students maybe that you know, need a little bit extra help or want to practice more on their own outside of the system, not using their laptop or iPads. And anytime any student has a problem with the question or how to do anything, we have a support staff that's available to help those students, and they can report any issue here. And matter of fact, we recommend that students report issues from within the system, because it actually, for our support staff, they see the iteration of the question, and it gives our support staff the necessary information that they need to rectify that. Email your instructor is another great tool. So let's say Live Help, you're not using NetTutor, don't want to use NetTutor. Students still have the ability to be able to, write to their instructor in Sofia, asking them a question. Maybe it's clarification on steps or processes within an equation. We also have a show your work feature. And all of these can be enabled or disabled. They're not like on by default. And this is a great area where if you have a student, they get the right answer, and you're like, okay, great. I want you to show your work, and maybe they get the wrong answer, but you want to give them some partial credit based on their ability to show the work. Then students can go in here. They can show the work that they're doing. There's all kinds of tools in here as well. This travels with the student with the assignment, so that when instructors look at the grades, they can see the transcript or the snapshot of the show your work on the whiteboard. And you can check your answer. And that's how it looks for students as well. Kind of went through it pretty quickly because limited time this morning, but I did want to just give you kind of a brief tour of Sofia, what it looks like from the instructor side, what it looks like from the student side. I think it's helpful for students to be working within the learning management system and not going out all the grades. It's helpful for instructors because all of the grades for these assignments are automatically graded and sent over to the grade book in Canvas and in other learning management systems as well. All right, Todd, my companion here, do we have any questions at this point, or?
I don't see any questions.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Angela Galvez one more time. And Angela, I just wanted to kind of invite you here to co-host with me, just to give folks an idea of how you're using Sofia at Cypress Bay High School. And first, kind of wanted to ask you, how you decided to use Sofia.
Actually, I just lucked out. They actually sent out a Canvas email and it had it listed in it. So I was curious because I haven't been satisfied with the programs we're getting from textbooks. I find them very frustrating, and most of the kids were frustrated with them. So I was still looking for something different, and it's kind of like, what have I got to lose? And it took a while for us to get it in because I was the trial run through here. But it seemed to work out because it gave the kids access to the hints and stuff for being able to see how to work it out. And even though I work it one way, you guys might work it another, and sometimes we do work it the same. So it's been useful in that aspect. So it was with luck that I found it, but I've been happy with it since we've had it.
And how have you been using it in your courses? Do you use it like for all of the courses that you teach, or is it a certain subset of students? Like how does that work?
In my geometry classes, every student uses it. I use it for practice. A lot of us are starting to use it for a quick quiz to see if the kids are actually staying up with us on material. My other class is a Cambridge Thinking Skills class, and we used it for review on basic math because we got anywhere from 9th grade to 12th grade in the class. So it was a quick review in that aspect.
And were you using another platform before this, or were you kind of new to using online homework platforms?
All we had available were the textbooks platforms, which was basically put in an answer and it's right or it's wrong, and there was no backup for it, no support.
Oh, okay. So how's Sophia sort of different than that basic platform you were using?
Like I said, it gives the kids more options. They can get the hints. They work at their own. It's just not straightforward. Go in, plug in an answer, and hopefully it's the right one. They have the support there, which has worked out nice. A lot of the students liked it. What I liked about it was it is algorithm based, so not everybody got the same question. And for the quizzes and stuff, it's a very quick, easy way to see if the students know what they're talking about. So it's worked out well.
What have the students said about it? You know, what's kind of the best thing that they like about it, or have they said what they like about it?
No, the ones legitimately using it have been happy with it. It's easy for them to use. You know, we've had a few kids that come frustrated saying, I can't get it on my phone and stuff. It's like, well, upgrade your phone if you want to. But we've always been able to get everybody up and running. And the ones that do have problems, we usually find out it's not legit. So that has not been a problem. They've been able to access it. And they can, you know, if they got a few minutes and they have access to a laptop or their phone, you know, they can easily do something very quickly. So it has not been a problem.
Are you seeing like the students that are using it and using it regularly? Are you seeing that those students, you know, tend to do better than students who aren't, or like what results have you seen?
The results for me have been good. The kids that are actually students that are actually using it and keeping up with the deadlines that I put out there, they do better. They're exposed to a little more. The problem we were having a lot of is we would give them problems in the textbook, and of course they would find the kid that actually did it, take a picture, and then start copying on the paper. This they're forced to go in on their own, because if they're giving out their student number to somebody else, well, then they're going to get had somewhere else. But it forces them to actually do it. So even if they're sitting next to a friend working together, I don't have a problem with that, but it forces them to actually do the work.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we've noticed and have talked about it, even from like the online tutoring side, is, you know, hey, students who are using online tutoring are doing better, but it's like, you know, well, that's because those students are trying, right? Like they care, they're going in, they're using the tutoring, they're forced to go in here, use Sofia, they're forced to do it on their own and not rely on somebody else or cheating or anything like that. You know, it's going to help them in the long run, just sort of organically, I think.
Which was another point with the textbook programs we've had. Everybody got the same question. So you throw somebody out there and say, hey, take it, and then give everybody else the answer. So we had that problem too. So like I said, the thing I like is they get different questions, which is valuable for me.
So what's valuable for you as a teacher with Sofia?
For me, once I got it set up, actually even setting it up was not that bad. It was quick. And since we are in Canvas here, it was easy enough that Sofia grades it automatically. That saves me time. And I can transfer the grades immediately into the gradebook. So it's a time saver for me, but it also gives me quicker feedback about how the students are doing.
Yeah, that's great. I knew you were going to say that because that's what everybody says. Auto grading saves me time.
Saves me time.
Yeah.
I have other things I need to do. It saves me a lot of time.
Right. Other than the auto grading feature, what other feature do you like or do you like best? And the algorithmic, I guess.
Yeah, the algorithm base is great. I simply said I can go in and the kids that are having trouble, I can go in and see directly what specifically they're having trouble with and what I need to get back to them with, and maybe give them some extra work on it and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I didn't really have enough time to show this morning, but is the grade book, and you can see where students are, right, when they're in progress.
Yeah.
And then you can see the iteration of the question that they're working on.
Yeah, and you can get into well, they call it the speed grader on Canvas, but you can get into the speed grader and check the questions and see which ones they're actually having trouble with. So, and it shows it very quickly. And it's kind of like, oh, I didn't do so well. It's kind of like, okay, well, let me go in and look and let me see where you're having trouble. So I can.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you ever pull that up like while you're meeting with a student and say, well, let's look at your last quiz or something and see where they were having trouble?
I do. Yeah, because it's easy enough to do. Pull it up very quickly, and although I don't see the work at times, I'm working on having them do that. I haven't had much practice with it yet, but yeah, it helps me, and it's kind of like, okay, talk my way through this. Talk me through this. See where are you getting stuck and stuff. So it's worked.
And I would assume that's probably helpful for the students too, right? Because they have access to their grades. And they can see what they got right, what they got wrong, kind of where the problem.
I know when we first started, they were saying that this is not working right, or it didn't have a right answer. And I said, okay. And they tried to explain. I said, take a picture. Take a picture. You got a phone, take a picture. And, we'd be looking at it. And I said, okay, the right answer, that is the right answer, so it's kind of like, this is why. So.
Students trying to pull one over on you, you don't say.
Oh yes, no, but sometimes, well, it's like the textbook at times, like I said, I was one of the first people in for you guys on this, and we did find problems, and we took care of it. It's kind of like, okay, this is not working out right, guys. It needs to be in this format. So, it's been easy enough to work with you guys to get stuff changed. And like I said, it's just like textbooks. I love it when I find a wrong answer in a textbook. It's kind of like, guys, don't always trust the textbook. They can make mistakes also. So, but and then you opening it up to where the student could actually say, hey, there's something wrong here, and contact you guys directly was great. So
yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, we hear that a lot, that it's easy to get in contact with us and, work through any issues or changes that need to be made. And, we can, depending on, how hard it is to make the change or how easy it is, we can make changes relatively quickly. And some people haven't had those experiences with other companies. So,
so yeah, it's nice to have access to you guys directly. So
yeah. All right. Well, any other thoughts to share while I have you here?
No, anybody that's looking into one, I found this very good. It's worked. We have different textbooks that we're using here between regular people, the regular students and the honor students, but everybody can use the program quite easily. So it's worked out well. More people are getting into it. It seems to be working well, and it keeps the kids online, which is a good thing because our end of course test is online. So it's got them used to working with online stuff and the drop down menus and everything. So that's one of my things too, which most of the programs I've seen before haven't had that ability. I know some people are getting better with it, but they didn't have that ability before. And that's what I found frustrating too. It's kind of like we're dumping these kids on a test 2 days out of the year and they're not used to how the program works. So that was a big plus.
Well, I know everyone's probably wondering too, the advantage in terms of pricing, what does it cost? Are we going to be able to afford it? But, like I said, the thing that we wanted to do was try to decrease the cost for students or for schools. So for colleges, a term is $20 a student. Big difference than spending $80 on some software. For K-12, it's $10 a student, so it's affordable if schools want to pay for it themselves. Or for the students. It's affordable for students if they, wanted to buy it directly themselves. So it's effective and affordable. That's really what we were trying to accomplish with this, and why we want to spread the word out that Sofia is available. So if anybody wants to check it out, if they want to do a pilot, let us know. I think our contact information is available there through our partner portal in Canvas, or you can go to our website, linksystems.com, or you can go to sofiasuccess.com, and there's an area to contact us if you wanted to get more information about pricing, pilots, see a more in-depth demo than maybe what we had time to cover today. So thanks, Angela. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day today with students. And Todd, thanks for monitoring the questions for me. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You.